So I've been trying to film this video for the past few weeks, and today is the day that I'm just gonna film it. I don't care how it comes out. I have to speak my mind on this. Being a bisexual man is extremely hard. Being bi in general is hard for men and women, but especially if you're a man, there's so many struggles that no one really talks about or no one understands. I think the biggest struggle is people see you differently from how you see yourself. So if you're a bisexual man who's masculine or athletic, people may see you as a straight guy. And then when you talk about guys or having sex with guys, people are taken aback and even get scared or anxious. I met a guy who was bisexual, and he said, yeah, whenever I make guy friends, they assume I'm straight. I don't openly talk about my sexuality unless it's asked, but I'm not gonna hide who I am. And whenever he talks about it, they're like, oh, you kind of tricked me because you didn't say you liked men. And then you can just feel when someone withdraws from you or their energy shifts or they don't like you anymore. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if you're a more feminine bi man, people see you as gay. So when you talk to people, they may assume that you like guys, or if you're talking to a girl, they kind of feminize you or just kind of treat you like the gay best friend. So I've met women that I'm like, oh wow, she's really hot. But then when we're talking, I can see that she already mentally put me in this category that's like, you're not compatible with him and he's a gay guy. So whenever that would happen, I'm like, there goes my chances of trying to talk to her or like go out with her. I think another thing that's hard is like expectations. Like I always feel out of place, even in like, so for example, I worked at a coffee shop and I had a coworker who was openly gay, very flamboyant. We would get along really well, but there was one thing he would do that really pissed me off. Whenever I would interact with a male customer, I'd be like, okay, thanks buddy, here's your coffee, or have a good day, man. And he would always question me and be like, man, or buddy. And he'd laugh at me, and I said, I feel like you're making fun of me because I'm saying that. And he'd be like, no, I'm not. It's just, I didn't know you were a bro. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm being myself. Like, this is how I act and talk to other men. Like, I'm from the Bronx, New York. That's how I was raised. That's my culture. Like, you know, you shake a guy's hand or a pat on the back. Like, and I'm not code switching. It's just, that's how I actually talk and speak. But seeing how people look at you and treat you, it's almost like you're not allowed to be different. I went on a date with a guy from Grindr back when I used to use that app. And he was, you know, a more feminine gay guy, but he would like paint his nails and like wear like feminine clothing, or like he had long hair. So it was like very obvious that he was more on the performing side. Nothing wrong with that. But we were talking about sexuality, and I said, yeah, I don't usually like disclose my sexuality to people unless I want to, or if I feel comfortable, or if it feels appropriate. And he said, yeah, I don't really have that privilege. And I thought to myself, what privilege? Like, there's always going to be a guy that says I'm more feminine than him. I was bullied throughout most of my elementary and high school years. People were calling me feminine and gay and saying that, like, you're not a man, you have two fathers. Like, even before I had a name for my sexuality, people were already telling me you're gay, which most gay people relate to, whether you're gay, bi, pansexual. A lot of us just went through that. We felt like people were telling us who we are before we even know who we are. So now, trying to use dating apps, trying to talk to people, and date people, I feel like I will never have a partner. I just feel so weird trying to date people, or like, I lost my virginity in my 30s. So I would talk to people and meet up and do things, but it was never like full-blown sex. And when I lost my virginity to a woman, I told her, I was like, I'm a virgin. And she was like, oh, do you want to come over? And I mean, I was like, is it that easy? But no, we talked and got to know each other. But yeah, we ended up having sex, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was amazing. But I felt like, I can't believe that I'm losing my virginity in my 30s, and most men lost it in high school or in their 20s. And I found myself like obsessed with sex and trying to prove to myself, yes, you're bisexual, or yes, you like women, and like your sexuality is valid. And I'm like, is this normal, like, to want sex this much? Or is it normal to like be on dating apps all the time? I don't know. I'm like, I feel like it's something I think about a lot, and it sucks. I mean, I know there's definitely bi men out there who go through the same thing, but I feel like nobody wants to talk about it because it's scary. It's very scary. Like, you think about your future, like, am I gonna have kids? Am I gonna be with a woman or end up with a man? Like, like, I guess I'm a late bloomer. Like, I missed out on 10 years of dating because I didn't date or really do anything like that in my 20s. So now in my 30s, I feel like my life is finally starting, but I didn't have the head start. Sorry, there's sirens. I live in New York. It's always something chaotic happening. I hope they're okay. But I try to tell myself, like, it's okay. Your sexuality is valid. You don't need validation from people. You don't have to prove yourself. People who get it, get it. People who don't will never understand. But that's my random video, unscripted. I didn't plan for this. I was just randomly thinking about it, and I was like, just talk your shit. Hope this video finds the right people, or if you're curious about it, you can ask me questions. But yeah, that's it.